Hey people, I hate reading, but I had to read this book to make my life better. And honestly, it has transformed my life in many ways. Although I've learned a lot from this book, there are 4 main things I would like to share with you guys. And so if you are someone who is willing to change your life or even make it better than last year, you'd want to stick around for this one. And please, if you've not subscribed to this channel yet, please do well to subscribe and don't forget to leave a like as well as a comment, and even put in the comment section the books you would want me to review or even read in order to better my life. When I said I hate reading books, and I always prefer that books can be converted into movies and I will watch it all day long. Well, I realized that everybody was talking about this book, Atomic Habits. So I got curious. I was like, no, what is in this book that everybody is talking about? And those who may know me, they know that I'm someone who cares less about situations. And so this could be something that will help me in becoming careful in my life. So I quickly looked around and I decided to even buy it. Then I realized a friend has this book, so I contacted him and then he gave it out willingly. So I had to read it cover to cover. And if you are someone who is lazy at reading, you would always want to read the back cover. I told myself, no, I'm not reading the back cover. If I do, I'm not going to have interest in this book. So I had to read from cover to cover, which I must say helped me a lot, because in this moment I was also having an exams, which was very important to me, but I had to read this book regardless. So I would want to dive in directly to the 4 things that I learned or I got from this book that I really want to share with you guys. Now, as the name of the book tells, Atomic Habits. Now, when you hear of an atom, it means the smallest particle in a mass or in a body, right? As science says it. Even though, atoms can be broken down in other smaller particles like leptons and quarks. We all know that it's atom that's the smallest particle. So yeah. So when you hear atomic habit, it means the smallest habit that we human beings neglect that could have helped us to become, better people in the society. This book made me understand that the tiny behavior that I neglect could have compounded into something huge and could have helped me in the future. Well, upon knowing this thing, I quickly integrated it in my life, especially in my YouTube space. When you realize I have tons of videos on YouTube, I do videos each and every week. I even have more videos that I've not edited than the ones I've edited that are on the YouTube platform. Well, it's because I realized that progress is really necessary. Consistent is really necessary. It's just like mathematics, right? When you have 0.99, which you've added nothing to, exponent 365 days, it leads to nothing. But when you realize that you have 1.01 exponent 365, it leads to something really huge. And so the 0.1 you've added to who you already were could really transform your life. So it did my life. Now, when you realize, I normally edit each and every week. When you go to my YouTube space now, I have a lot of videos because I kept on editing. But one thing I also realized was that every smaller thing that you did earlier on actually contributed to what you are doing today. Let's take my videos for instance. Assuming I didn't edit my video last week, I wouldn't be able to do today's video. So each and every part of the journey plays an important role. Well, it's just like boiling water, right? At a certain temperature, the water has to boil. That is 100 degrees Celsius. But you realize that when you don't get to 50 degrees Celsius, there's no way you are going to get to 100 degrees Celsius. So every temperature matters. That is why it's really important to not neglect the smallest one. Whatever it is that you are doing, don't neglect it, because they will build up to whatever you are leading to in the future. So it really helped me in my domain of YouTube, in my domain of life, because I realized that, look, whatever I'm doing today, it is really going to play an important role in the future. It's going to add up to something in the future. Well, today you might think that I just do YouTube video, but trust me, it has helped me a lot in knowing how to edit videos. So that is that. Whatever you are doing, no matter how tiny it is, just keep on doing it, because it needs to be done before the bigger ones. So keep on doing. So like I said, the tiny changes, remarkable results. So just keep on the tiny changes that will lead to remarkable results. Habit stacking. I know a lot of you have read this book and have taken a lot out of it, but I would like to make this one very prominent. That is the habit stacking. Take me for instance, who have few habits during the day. I love to watch a lot of movies, which, it's a habit, right? And then again, there are certain habits I would like to incorporate in my life, but it's very difficult because they are new habits. I'm used to the old ones. Take this for instance. I would really love to improve on my health by just doing little push-ups in the morning, but I can't do it because it has to be a new habit. That is when habit stacking comes in. Well, every morning when I wake up, I had to brush and take my breakfast. I tell myself before I do that, I need to do push-ups, and so it would now become a habit. Because before I go to the bathhouse to brush my teeth, I would have to do these push-ups, and it really helps me, and it has become my habit these days that every morning, anytime I wake up, I do my push-up and then I go to the washroom to brush my teeth before I take my breakfast. So if you are someone who is finding it difficult to adopt habits, you can use habit stacking. For instance, if you play ball each and every Saturday and that's your habit, and your relationship is failing, you can just pass by your family each and every Saturday before you go and play the football and say hello to them. It then becomes your habit. And trust me, it will go a very long way to help you and grow your relationships with your family. There are a lot of examples out there I would love to give, but I don't have the enough time. All I would want you to understand is that there's something called habit stacking, which really helps a lot. Before you brush, make sure you do a little push-up. Before you go to bed, if there is a book, just read it. All right, that is how it works, and it will really go a very long way to help you. So I would really wish if you could adopt what is known as the habit stacking in your daily life, and it will go a very long way to help you. Importance of environment. Well, this is something I personally used during my preparation of exams, which I realized was really something a lot of people use in their life without even realizing it. Let's just give a very simple scenario. You see, when you go to someone's house who is a very successful person, you realize that his dining room is different from his bedroom. He even has an office in his house because it actually helps in productivity. It actually helps in building your habits. If you are someone who has your PC right beside your bed and you claim you are learning, there is no way you are learning because you would easily fall asleep. But when you put your PC on your desk and you sit against your desk, there is no way you are not going to learn. There is no way you are not going to be productive. That is one thing I realized. And so your environment plays an important role when you want to build a habit. For instance, if you don't make your environment conducive to build a habit, there's no way you are going to build it. Something I realized when I was reading this book. So Atomic Habits is something I read during my preparation for exams. Now, I normally sleep 10:30 p.m. each and every day in order to have a fresh mind for the next day. Then I realized there's something I could do, which I even learned from the book. Look, if you are someone who finds it difficult to read, just leave your book on your bed. And when you're about to sleep, it reminds you that, look, you need to read me because I am there to be read. That is what I did. And each and every day I was able to read for 30 minutes. Let it just be one page. I mean, tomorrow you can learn 2 pages. The next day, 3 pages. And that's how you build progression. So this is something I really realized upon reading the book, that I had to separate my workspace from my sleeping space, my dining hall from wherever I learn. I can't put food in front of my PC and claim that I am being productive. No, it doesn't work that way. So this is something most people realized early and have made their life better. And so if you are also realizing this now, then it's not late. You can still incorporate it in your life by knowing what is different from what, by knowing where you have to study. Because if you study in the midst of noise, there's no way you are going to study. There's no way it's going to be a very fruitful study. That is why you need to know this right now in order to start moving towards it. Well, I know you already have the habit of putting your laptop beside your bed and you claim you are learning. Honestly, you are doing nothing. If you could set your workspace, this will really help you and it will go a long way to make you a very productive individual. So consider this and separate wherever you study from wherever you eat and from wherever you sleep. That is what the rich people do. When you enter into their house, you realize that their workspace, their office is different from their bedroom. They don't study in their bedroom. They study in the study. So it's very important. Well, you might claim you don't have a house, but if you keep on putting your laptop beside your bed and you claim you are learning, then you are not doing the best. You just have to buy yourself a little table in the corner and put a chair against it. And there you go. You have your working space. And trust me, it will go a very long way to help you. So this is one important thing I would really love to share. And I just did. So just have to take advantage of it. Well, breaking habits. Now, this is something we already know. that we know what is really a good habit and what's really a bad habit, honestly? Well, it's subjective, because to you, what you think is a bad habit is a good habit to someone. But as long as you've identified someone to be a bad habit, you need to break it. Now, it's the same process of creating a habit. There are 4 things I would really want to touch on when it comes to creating a habit. It's just a simple loop. This item has the double C and double R, being, cue, craving, response, and rewards. Now, these 4 things are really important when you want to build a habit or even break it. Now, I'm going to talk about each and every one after the other. Cue, you might have even heard it on several occasions when someone will be like, this is my cue to leave. It means the trigger. What actually triggers us to, adopt a certain behavior? Well, it depends on you. If you think you have certain behaviors that need to be broken, then you have to avoid these triggers in your environment. For instance, I really sleep whenever I'm watching a movie. And so I realized that is my trigger. That is my cue to sleep. And so anytime I would want to sleep, all I have to do is open my laptop, put on some movie, and then in a blink of an eye, I am gone. So that is so simple. So you have to identify that cue of yours and then take advantage of it by just taking it out of your environment or even putting it in your environment in order to build a very good behavior. The craving, it's about what you want, what you wish to have at the end of the day. So this whole habit you are building, what is it that you really want out of it? That is what we mean by craving. So what is it that you wish? And so before you can build a very good habit, then you have to make your craving very, very attractive. If it is attractive, that's when you go for it. If you realize that when you are doing push-ups each and every morning and you feel like, no, you are having a very nice body, you go in for it. That's why people go to the gym each and every day. Because why would you go to the gym if you get really tired? It's because at the end of the day, whatever you are craving for, you've seen someone who has a very good shape and he did it through, gymming, you would really also want to consider gymming. And so that's how you build a habit. So whatever you want to get at the end of the day, make it attractive. Make your cravings attractive. And then again, if you want to break a habit that you realize that it's not a good habit, you have to make your cravings unattractive. Whatever it is that you realized at first, you have to take it off your mind. If it's about, something, you all know, like I said earlier on, that habits are actually subjective. Whatever you think it's bad for you, it's really good for someone. So if you realize that there's a habit you really have to get out of your system, then you have to make the cravings unattractive. Response. This is also important when it comes to building or even breaking a habit. Now, after identifying your trigger, your cravings, you have to respond in order to make the habit complete. And so that is why there is a need for you to make it easier. Let me give you a very good example. You can't just walk into the gym for the first day and start carrying 50 kilograms of weight. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to make it easier by just starting with maybe 5 kilograms and then progressively you can just, aim for 50 kilograms one day. So that is how it is. You have to make your response very easy. There's no way you are going to start a habit if it's very difficult for you to do. So you have to do your possible best to make it very easier. So I realized this when I was reading this book alongside me studying for my exams. Now, at first, when I started learning, I started with 2 topics because I realized that, you have to do whatever you want to do very easy at first. And then as time goes by, you can now adapt to it. So you realize that after some weeks, I started with 4. And then gradually, I started reading 8 topics in a day, which was very easier for me because I started easily. And so you can also adopt this. You cannot just start doing something on the first day and you make it difficult for yourself because you get disappointed and this habit will never even get to its last end, which is what we call the reward. Now, talking about reward, that is what you get at the end of the day after building a habit. What is it that you really want? So what I normally tell people is that make your reward satisfying. Whenever you see it from afar, you'll be like, I have achieved something and I really love it, because that is what will make you build a habit. So in order to break a habit, you have to make your response very, very difficult. You get it? Whatever behavior you want to break, before you attain to that particular thing, you have to make it difficult for you. You get it? Maybe you are someone who does a lot on Instagram, which you would want to break that habit by not wasting much time on Instagram. Just delete it from, your home screen, or even uninstall it, or make it difficult for you to, get into Instagram itself. Maybe when you have to, click it twice before you actually get into Instagram. That takes a longer time, and so it's difficult for you to access Instagram, and so you actually break that habit. The same thing they actually do for TikTok. I mean, when you go to TikTok and you want to leave TikTok, they even inform you that, are you sure you would want to leave? Because they want you to stay there a very longer, because it's a system that they've also realized and built that, look, if they make it very difficult for you, you will not leave easily. And so if you want to break a habit, you would have to make it difficult for yourself. Once again, if you are someone who wants to destroy the habit of being on Instagram for a very long time or social media, you have to punish yourself for any time you enter there. Let's say you can get yourself, a box, and then anytime you go to Instagram, you just drop some coin over there to serve as a punishment. At the end of the day, it's a reward in the near future, but then it's helping you break a certain habit. So you can also develop this, and it will go a very long way to help you. Well, to summarize everything about building good habits and breaking bad habits, these are the 4 things you have to know, which is the CCR. So see, your first C being Q. Now you have to make your cue obvious if you want to build a good habit. If you want to break a habit, you have to make it, you have to hide it. You don't have to make it obvious. You don't have to see your triggers all over you. And then if you want to build a habit, you have to make your cravings very attractive and unattractive if you want to break a habit. You also have to make your response very easy if you really want to build a certain habit. But if you want to break it, make it very difficult for yourself. And finally, if you want to build a habit, then you have to make your reward satisfying. But if you want to break one, you have to make it unsatisfying. Well, this is all I have for you guys. But before you go, I have something I would want to share with you guys, which I realized myself. Now, when you're building a habit, it's a longer process. It's very small. And so you might not even think you are progressing because you are looking at the bigger picture. Don't do it that way. You have different ways to measure your progress. I'm just going to give a very good example and leave it as that. Now, I do YouTube videos. Each and every day I do videos, I mostly get not more than 500 views, maybe 200 sometimes, 130 something sometimes. Yeah. And still I do videos, if you've realized. Now, the reason why I still do videos is not because I'm not getting the views I really wished I would want or the likes I want, but it's because I realized that I am becoming better and better at doing YouTube videos. And so that is how I measure my progress. Not what everybody is seeing, not the fact that they are seeing you, not passing the exams. It's because, within you, you know that you are becoming better each and every day. So take it from me that if you are building a habit and you are not getting to the results that you really want, don't think that is the end. Keep on doing it and measure your progress with another measurement, not what everybody is looking at. So this is something important I would really want you to take home, even if you've forgotten about everything about Atomic Habit. This has been it. See you guys in the next one. Please do well to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and leave a comment on any book you'd want me to read in order to make my life better, and share it with you guys, since I would have to develop reading in order to make you guys also get a lot out of the books I read. This has been it once again. See you guys in the next one.